Okay, I'll turn on the microphones. Hi, y'all. This is 1100 WSG. I'm U-Turn LaVern. This is one street over, and yes, Miss Amy Corbin is in the house. We just sitting here visiting and talking. I tell everybody, people, when I invite people, Amy, to come on the show, they're like, you want me to come on and talk, and what will we say? What will we talk about? I'm like, pull that microphone to you. And I say, we're just on the porch talking to each other and visiting, and Miss Amy is my dear friend, and I've missed her. And my goodness, it's been just so busy, and good land, y'all have been through some stuff out there at Corbin Creek. How are you doing first? We were talking about the softball size hail that hit last week. Come up on that microphone. You're going to have to scooch in a little bit. How are we doing out there?
Well, it's all fixable.
Okay.
My brother Bill and Vince Starks from Barren Plains are starting this morning assessing, and heaters have got to come down, and it's all fixable.
Okay.
All I can see is gloom and doom, but it's all fixable.
Bless your heart.
Cars, trucks, roofs, it's all fixable.
Bless your heart, though. And I mean, you said y'all got softball size hail out there.
We did.
And that's not good for plastic. And
it riddles it.
Yeah.
So.
And you had that's the thing, folks. I mean, you talk about persevere. Y'all went through the polar vortex last year, and it took the plastic off and everything. Y'all have had a time.
Well.
Good land. And
just.
Bless.
Get it over it, cry a few tears and scream and kick, and then pick up the pieces.
Well, we've been praying for y'all. And I know y'all still had your customer appreciation on Saturday. Because that's tradition.
That is tradition. Yeah. And yes, we did.
Okay. Did you have a lot of folks come out?
We did.
Yeah.
And we were very thankful.
Well, I'll be out there as soon as I can, because I need to get some things for my yard and all that. I just have been so underwater with all the things back in Kentucky, trying to take care of my parents' house, and I've been thinking and praying for y'all though, because I know y'all been.
It's a lot.
It is, but it's beautiful and it's good, and it's like we were talking. God will turn all things for good, but not all things are good. But He'll use it.
Saturday, people said, "Oh, you all didn't have any damage," and all I can see is mangles and destruction, and they're like, "Well, we didn't notice." So,
but the structure and the functionality of it,
fixable.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all fixable.
It looks beautiful out there, though. I see the pictures, and man, it's just beautiful, beautiful stuff.
Well,
and I have to tell them what I brought you. I was cleaning out. I got to Kentucky. We were cleaning out one of the freezers, and I found Mama was absolutely amazing gardener. And so she'd buy up seeds and put them in the freezer, because that's how you preserve them.
Right.
And so she had some marigolds, and I don't know what all's in there. And I told Amy, I handed them to her. I said, please take these and give them life, because I know I'll just plant them and I'll forget to water them and they won't last.
They'll last a long time.
I know they will. And so I'm tickled that you're going to give some life to something Mother loved. So
we will.
Absolutely. Thank you. I may even bring you some starts because I've got my grandmother's hydrangea. There's one of the hydrangeas is there by the back door, and we've got to figure out how to start those, because I want to get a cutting. Do you get a cutting of those, or what do I do to transfer a hydrangea?
The older ones, if you lift, it's all leafed out now and big, and if you'll lift that up, I apologize, it's allergies.
She's had a fit with it. Then.
A lot of times you'll see suckers that are coming up from the root, which are little hydrangeas, but they're little. And if you can get a good root with those, and then pot them up and let them root in good, and then plant them. Or you want to take the soft tip cutting and root that. Woodies are harder to root than others. But get the soft tips.
And I'm going to be back up there in a couple of weeks, and I want to look at that. Now the folks that are moving in, some folks that work with my brother, they're moving in. They're going to take such good care of it, and we're so thankful. But I know that Arendita is going to take really good care of Mama's flowers, but I want some. I want
Sure.
some cuttings. I have a peony that I gave Mother, a couple of different peonies. How easy are those to?
In the fall, dig them up. Wait till the fall, though.
Yeah.
It's
But I don't want to take it all. Can I take a piece of it, or would I have to take the whole plant?
just take a spade and go down through it.
Okay.
And get what you want.
Okay.
But wait until fall.
Okay. Okay. And because that's the thing, I'm not touching any of it right now because I know I don't have time. That's why I brought you the seed. It's because I knew I didn't have time to do anything with it. And so I thought, well, and then there's a rose bush that was my grandmother's. How would I do the rose bush? Because it's a climbing rose. What do you do with those? Because I want samples of all these things. And I want them to, because Mother brought them from her mother's yard to her yard. Now, how'd she do it? You know?
That's the trick.
That's how did she do
That's
it?
the trick.
You know?
Again, just wait until fall.
Okay.
And go in and you've got to make sure you've got a lot of root.
Okay.
But I wouldn't dig anything up. Does she have bulb crops like iris?
Oh, yes.
daffodils? Again, in the fall, just go in there and dig those up.
Okay. Okay. Because see, that's the thing. We don't want, my sister-in-law wants to do some of them too. She had a bunch of daffodils. Daffodils are a big thing with us. Or jonquils, as my mother would say. My jonquils are beautiful. I'm like, what are you talking about, Mother? Daffodils? But she called them jonquils. And so we want to get some of her jonquils.
Well,
and,
just wait till this fall. And of course, they're already through blooming.
Yeah.
But just make sure you get all the different varieties.
She had a bunch.
Yeah.
She had a bunch of
Those, and those older varieties you can't find anymore. And they're the prettiest.
They really are.
They're the prettiest. So.
You know, I've got on my place. I know this is Amy Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gifts and Gardening Center. Love her. Y'all go and love on them and spend some money and just embrace them through this summer. We're going to talk about all the things going on, but I've just had so many questions for her. And but there's also too the farm that we live on was the old. I mean, there was a cabin on there when we moved there, and it was collapsing. We ended up having to dismantle it. Broke my heart because it was full of termites. Around where that cabin sat, there are some of the coolest daffodils, like the big doubles and just all kinds of unusual.
Just get you a bunch of buckets.
Okay.
Or whatever. And so fill up, just dig up all those bulbs and put each different one in a different bucket.
Varieties. I'll have to bring you some of the ones, the different ones.
I would love some.
There's the double ones. My mother, I mean, I had taken her some of those to Kentucky because she had loved those. They're very, very unique looking. They're just big.
And you can't find those anymore.
I'll bring you some.
But make sure you get it, because the bulbs underground on those things will just be in a big mass.
Okay.
And just dig them up, put them in a bucket.
We've even got some daffodils in the, we let a big portion of our land go to seed, and it's reforested. It's beautiful. And there's some daffodils coming up in the woods, and it's just the neatest looking thing. It is so beautiful in the spring. But anyway, I've been thinking a lot about you guys, I tell you, and I'm sorry I haven't gotten down there. I know you understand with all the stuff back in Kentucky. It's just been a little bit crazy in our world.
It's a lot.
We're getting ready to have summer off because I'm a teacher and my husband's a teacher. But I'm finally getting the knees replaced.
When are you doing that?
My first one's on the 10th of June. And then I'm getting the second one done right after I get back from Mexico because we got our mission trip. And so I told the students, I said, man, I'm going to be able to race y'all next year.
You're going to be bionic.
Exactly. We're talking with Amy Corbin from Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gifts and Gardening Center about all the things. Now, they had their Customer Appreciation Day this past Saturday. We talked all about it, and we talked a lot about it last week. And then you had, bless your heart, the hail that came in right before it. But anyway, but y'all piecing it back together. What are your hours right now? Remind everybody when they can find you.
We're open 9 until 6, Monday through Saturday, and 1 until 6 on Sunday.
You can always find there. It's very convenient the fact that y'all extend those hours during the summer, and you're out there. I mean, you guys are always around because it's there at home.
And
really,
if you're there at 7, I'm still there.
Right.
We're there.
Right. And everything you need for home. Do you still have any hanging baskets? Because I know y'all kind of, they get,
Yes,
there's a lot of them that get gone over Mother's Day.
We do have some, yes.
Well, I have. Speaking of, I've got so many questions. Mother had this, one of my cousins brought her this hanging plant a couple of years ago, and it's the most beautiful pot. It is just beautiful. And I think it needs some of those purple petunias that kind of spill out over the edges. Mm-hmm. To me, that would be beautiful. Do you have anything like that?
Yeah.
That I could put in that pot?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm going to bring that out.
Okay.
I'm going to bring it out because that's just, as soon as I saw that, I was leaving Sunday and I saw that hanging there with nothing in it. And I thought, I bet Amy could put some purple petunias
we
in
can
there
fix
for me.
it for you.
But I have to water it though. That's my problem.
You do.
That's my issue. I forget. Do you have a trick for those of us who forget to water to remind us?
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, because I think it's kind of
put it on your calendar. If somebody calls and says this appointment, it's like we put it on the calendar. So put it on your calendar.
So how often do I need to water petunias in a hanging basket?
Well, that's hard. It depends on how big the plant is, how big your pot is, how much soil volume to hold moisture, how hot it is outside.
Because it's a way to honor Mom is putting something in there, and that will just remind me of her. And so I thought I can do that. I'm going to get that pot and we're going to get it fixed.
Make that your mission for the summer, that pot.
If I can get that one.
Keeping it alive.
Well, and so too, my husband's jade plant he got from you. It's beautiful. He does good with plants. He remembers to water them, but they don't need quite as much water.
No,
but it's growing and doing great.
Well,
so
good.
Yeah, he's good. He's kept my aloe alive. He's pretty good at it. So let me go ahead and pause and do a break. We're talking with my dear friend Amy Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gifts and Gardening Center, and all the things going on. This is the time of the year that you need to go and see them, and we'll just keep talking about all that's going on. And I thought we had Ryan Martin coming in at the bottom of the hour, but I had it. This is the third Wednesday, and he usually is here the third Wednesday, but the first was on Wednesday. So the mayor and alderman meeting is actually next Tuesday night. So he'll be in here on Wednesday. So we've got some time if you want to just hang out. Okay. We'll just chit chat. But let's talk about Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty. And we cannot talk about them right now without talking about the Kilgore Station Bluegrass Festival that's happening this weekend. And I do know that Lee Marie has got some folks coming in here that are going to be talking about the festival. Let's see. She's got, I forget who all's coming in, but I think she told me that Cheryl Chun's coming in and maybe even Larry with a step ahead because they're the ones that are going to host and present the Dan Kelly Junior Fiddle Competition on Friday night. And they're also doing a competition for any kid 14 and under, any kind of beginning music class. And I mean, when I say beginning, these kids are so talented. It is amazing. You will be so excited. They're going to have big barn dance. They're going to teach us to do some square dancing because Cheryl and Larry, they are part of the Grand Ole Opry. I mean, they're amazingly talented, and they're so much fun to watch. So they're going to be coming in here and talking to us at 8 o'clock on the Go Show. And you will see them Friday at the Kilgore Station Bluegrass Festival. And then, of course, on Saturday, we got the whole day of events going on. Music's going to start at 11 on Saturday. Everything on Friday starts at 5. You can get a $10 ticket. It'll get you in for both days. 12 and under is free. and they're having a fish fry on Friday night. So you'll want to be out and be a part of the Kilgore Station Bluegrass Festival that is in Cross Plains. Barry and Rebecca, they're Cross Plainians. They have been for nearly 30 years. So they specialize in real estate here in the Robertson County area, but they also buy and sell in the surrounding counties and across the state line in Kentucky. They're from Kentucky. So they know it all, guys. He's a marketer. You want a marketer on your team. He's also the broker here in Springfield. She's an agent up in White House, but they combine those two offices to give you a new branch in the Exit Tree. Same great team, but a new name, Exit Prime Realty. And when you want answers, you can just reach out to them. You can give Rebecca a call, 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425. Always, please let them know that U-Turn sent you. And getting on back into the show, we were talking about my knee replacement coming up. I'm going to be off a lot this summer, you guys, but we've got folks going to stand in for me, Lee Marie, and I think Deborah is going to do some. And you can come on and do a show. Why don't you just come in here and do a radio show? Aaron Slate wants to do this sometime. I told him, I said, well, you got to come in here and let us show you how to push the buttons.
Well, yeah.
Wouldn't that be fun, getting Aaron into here? I just love him.
Experience.
It'd be good. So what have you got coming up? I mean, y'all have had you've got the farmer's market. You guys are pretty much, do y'all go pretty much all the farmers markets, or where will we see you out and about? What events will you do?
Well, yeah, we do the farmers market every Saturday morning from 8 until noon through the month of July.
Okay.
The fair is early this year, so we won't be at the fairground, but we will have produce available at Corbin Creek Greenhouse, if we can ever get the gardens from underwater.
Oh, bless your
heart. No, it's
okay.
But yeah, we grow. We'll be at the farmers market through July.
Okay. And are the produce and stuff, one of the things I love about you guys is I could call y'all up and say, what have you got? And y'all would have it ready and I'd just come by and get it.
We try to
just
pick
works
fresh
so good.
for people. Yeah.
And it's so good. What kind of stuff? Because you did pepper. I love the squash. That squash. You're the first place I have found that squash because when I gardened, I liked that green and yellow smooth Zephyr squash. That is the best squash. Yep. Anybody that's never had that, it is, when it comes to yellow squash, it doesn't have that rough skin.
No, it doesn't.
It's tender. Oh, I love it. That is my absolute favorite. So I was so tickled to see that's what y'all had.
Yeah, we grow that every year.
I love it. What are your favorite tomatoes? Do you have a favorite?
No. I'm the wrong person to ask.
Yeah.
To me, a tomato is a tomato, and they're all good.
I love them. Mm-hmm.
What is the crisis last year and this year? There were no Bradley seed available.
Really?
None. Mm-mm. Now, last year we had Bradleys because we grew them because we had some seed left in the freezer, like your mom.
Yeah. From
the previous year. But this year we couldn't find them. And when I asked Christy at the co-op, and she was like, there are no Bradley. And when Christy at the co-op says, no, there are none out there.
Yeah.
There are none out there.
Yeah, I love the co-op, by the way. That's awesome. Yeah.
Pink Girl is the closest to a Bradley. But we've sold out of them.
Oh, wow.
We grew seeded several times, but because there were no Bradleys, everybody that was a Bradley lover had to go to Pink Girl. So we've still got lots of tomato plants available, but no Bradleys this year. And so,
wonder what's happened then. What is is there a reason?
Well, you have to have a mother crop.
Okay.
To harvest for seed. Mother crop failure is all I can say. I do not know
Okay.
There's been no explanation offered to growers,
Huh.
but it has to be a mother crop failure. There are no seeds from that mother crop.
Okay. Interesting. I had not heard that because I know a lot of people, that's all they would plant just about.
Yeah.
That's their go-to. I had no idea. Now,
Yeah.
see, Mother, she discovered a few years ago and really started loving the yellow tomatoes.
Yeah.
And she really loved those. There's a place, what is the name of the place up in Paducah? I'm going blank. But they just kept my mother in produce. And my brother's going to be like, I can't believe you forgot that, LaVern. But they had these beautiful yellow tomatoes because they're lower acidically.
Very,
and that's the reason people
yes.
like Bradley's, is because they don't have as much acidity to them. And so they just, you can digest them better, things like that. But I had some of the yellow ones, and Worth, that's the name of it, the Worth farm up in Paducah. I'm sorry, I got it. But anyway, they were so sweet to my mom, and they would bring her just piles of these tomatoes and all kinds of other stuff. But they were just wonderful. So do you do yellow tomatoes? What are
We
they?
do grow a yellow tomato, Carolina Gold.
Carolina Gold.
The only thing is you can't can a yellow tomato because
really?
there's no acid.
Okay, well, there is the problem. So would Bradley's have enough in it that you could can them?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
You can your yellow or orange tomatoes, you can blanch them like you're going to do to get the peeling off, core them and seed them, and go ahead and simmer them and freeze that
Okay.
versus canning. But they're not going to hold if you can them,
Really?
like a red tomato. Yeah.
Interesting. There's more questions. Okay, because when we're cleaning out some of the back cabinets and stuff, we're finding some old canned goods that just got forgotten. How long do canned goods last?
I don't know.
We're not going to use them. One of my cousins did. He got hold of a jar of one of Mother's green beans and ate it. And we're like, do you know how old those are? But how long would you keep canned green beans?
I'd say 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, these were older than that.
I wouldn't trust that.
No, they're fine because this has been weeks ago. But my brother said, you won't believe this.
Well, I was sick all winter with this gallbladder dying on me, and I couldn't eat.
Yeah.
But there were some canned apples that were from 2020, and I ate those, and they were perfectly fine. They were delicious, but I don't think I'd go back much farther than that.
I'm with you. But we've gotten a kick out of some of the things that we've pulled out of cabinets and stuff.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
quite interesting. When you live, this is the house we're cleaning out the house that my daddy grew up in, So that's been a minute, and so it's been quite interesting. But so you guys are at the farmers market. Do you have any other events that you think you're going to be going out for?
The city of Cedar Hill does a market the third Thursday night of every month, and we do that also. Okay. Any other events right now? I don't know.
Yeah, it's just that you just have to see kind of as they come up.
Yeah.
Now, how long will their farmers market go at Cedar Hill? Do you know?
Last year it went through October.
Okay.
As long as the weather holds, I think we went through October last year.
Okay. And so the one here local, though, you said it's going through July, so they're just cutting it off, or are they going to go ahead and pick it back up after the fair?
Not after the fair, because you lose momentum when you've been out, and then school has started, and, after once school starts, it starts dwindling anyway, because everybody's busy on weekends with sports and things like that. So, no, we will not pick back up at the fairgrounds.
Okay. Okay, because I know I've had Trent in and we've talked a little bit about the fairgrounds. And if people who want to know why the fair is early, it's because of trying to get the carnival. It's a carnival schedule, and it has nothing to do with, oh, we didn't like it at that time. It's just we can't get the carnival the weekend.
This is when they will
can get it.
They can come to us.
And it's such a great carnival, they don't want to try something else. And I get that. I get that completely.
COVID ruined a lot of carnivals, and they do whatever to keep this one coming because there are just not many out there anymore. And they have all said, everybody on the fair board, that this one is so good that they want to keep this one. So
I saw somewhere where there's a fair happening like in the middle of summer in one county. And that just, you see that it has to happen when it can happen. With all the pieces have to come together. But the fairgrounds we've got such a beautiful fairground. Oh my goodness, it works out so wonderful there, and it's a good space.
It does. It really does.
So and I had said something about having Ryan in. He'll be in next week. I got kind of upside down in my head when the mayor and alderman meeting was supposed to happen, because when the first falls on a Wednesday, it kind of messes
everything
messes
up
with my head. And because he typically is here on the third Wednesday, which this is, but they haven't had the mayor and alderman meeting. They won't have it until next week. So we're talking with Miss Amy Corbin. And how's your mom?
She's doing great. She's doing really, really well.
I love seeing pictures of her out there. She's a teacher, a retired teacher. And that was one of the cool things when I would talk to Dr. Causey, and he would talk about your mom because they had worked together. And how long did she teach?
I don't
know.
Yeah. A long time.
Yeah, it was a long time.
She retired when my nanny Harris, got Parkinson's, and then her brother, who is now deceased, developed Parkinson's also. And she retired, and I don't remember.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Don't ask me questions past yesterday. But she's a retired teacher. Her mother was a retired teacher. My sister is a retired teacher. Everybody on both sides of my family were teachers, but me. I was like, I would be under a prison somewhere. No.
That's great. But she's a delight, and it's always fun to visit with her when she's out there. So it's just such a cool family, the Corbins and all that they do, because y'all have so many interesting things going on. Now, what is happening with the CBD products? Do you still, because I haven't talked about CBD in a while, but it still helps me, and I don't use it as much as I did because I'm getting ready to have my knee replaced. But it's great stuff. And so you still have all the products.
Have all the products. Actually, Mother made pain salve yesterday.
I love your pain salve. It just smells so good.
Yes. We've still got it. I
love it. And so you have all the oils and things that you can get. And that's one of the things, guys, I'm getting ready for, I'm finally doing the knee replacements. But as I've been trying to manage pain, my doctor, Jeffrey Hodrick, told me years ago that CBD would help me, and it has helped me. And what was so funny is, and I've told this story so many times, but this has been several years ago. And I had talked to Dr. Hodrick, and he had said, why don't you try some CBD? And then you came in to talk about farmer's market. And again, this has been several years ago. And then you started talking about CBD, and I didn't even have any idea that y'all even had it. And that's how kind of our relationship started, because I was using it and it was helpful. And if you haven't, my mother used CBD like crazy because it helped her with her pain management too.
It's anti-inflammatory.
It's good stuff, guys. And I love that y'all make your salves there at the house, and they just got an earthy smell to it. It's just the best stuff. And at this time of the year, you need to really stock up, because what happens if you get the bug bites or things like that, man, it's great for that. I love Brian Pooley's story about stepping into some fire ants. And the only thing, this was in I wanted to say they were in Arkansas, and you've heard this story, I think, from Brian.
No, I haven't.
Okay, well, he was in Arkansas, and he was out with his little one, his little boy, and he grabbed him. He saw an anthill, and he grabbed him to keep him from getting into it, and he ended up stepping right in it, and they lit him up.
They do.
And so he was down there and was terrible pain from all the stings and the bites or whatever they do. And his mother-in-law had some kind of CBD salve, same kind of thing that y'all have. That was the only thing gave him any relief, and was a CBD salve on his ankles. And so ever since he said that, if I get a bug bite or a sting, that's the first thing I do. And oh my gosh, it's amazing. It helps so much. And so y'all have got the different variations. Y'all have got the pain salve, and you've got a bug bite salve too.
Yes.
Don't you? And a headache salve. We got the headache salve. My grandson was having just little headaches, and we've got the headache salve, and that's helped him, because you don't want to give kids aspirin and all that. But I mean, you need to check that stuff out, guys. I don't talk about it anymore because we're not, we're not doing the ads and everything, only because it just during the winter you didn't need to, And then right now we've been filled up with our ads. But I miss you, and I like talking about y'all because y'all are just such a fun family business and all the things. I'm so glad you got to come in today so we can talk about all the stuff you have going on. Is there anything new coming up that you're, like excited about, that you're like, oh, we've got this interesting plant and I haven't had this? Because you had, lavender? You were getting different varieties of lavender.
Uh-huh.
So are you still with because the last one I got from you was a little different. Are you still, playing around with the different varieties on that?
Always playing around with different varieties. We grew, actually, we're on our third crop of lavender. Early, the first crop, yes, was a new variety from Bare Root. I'm out of it.
Yeah.
It was gorgeous. I can't remember the variety, but perennials are a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we grow all our perennials most of them are from dormant cane bare root.
Okay.
And pot them up, kind of like your bulbs you're going to dig up.
Uh-huh.
It looks like you get this box, and it looks like a box, and people are like, it's dead. Well, no, it's not.
Yeah.
Pot them up, and when we pot them late January, early February, we put them outside under the benches and then pull big covers over them. And they have to break dormancy outside, but that makes them much stronger and much more durable through. Okay. So that's how we do those.
Interesting. But, that's fascinating.
It was a new one, and it was gorgeous. Wish I could remember the name.
I would love to get a hold of some of that, because that's one of my favorite things is lavender. I love it.
We've sold out.
Yeah. And I have to experiment with places to put this stuff, because I will try something in one spot in my yard and it doesn't work, and I keep moving it around. And it's always fascinating to me when you find the spot where, okay, that's where it's working. And I don't think I'm unique to that. I think it's kind of, the whether if it's getting sun from the start of the morning or late day sun. I've got one spot on my house that gets late day sun, and it just cooks everything, And so I've learned to not do anything there. Now we've talked a lot too about my English ivy. Oh, I had such a beautiful stand of English ivy until that polar vortex took it all. And I mean, it took it all that was vining. And I've got it coming back on the ground now, but I don't really want to count on it. I've got this arbor that I'm covering, and I'm going to let it kind of do the bottom half, but I've got a wisteria that I got, and I've got that on there. And then I'm just going to, do some gourd vines and things like that, because gourd vines will dry and kind of make this kind of, won't they? Will they be where I can stay, or we'll have to take them down? Will they dry out and kind of become part of the arbor? Or do you think that'll look like a mess?
Well, they're going to get moldy. Yeah, they're going to dry, and then your foliage is all going to dry and die back, and your gourds will still be hanging there.
Well, but if I take them down, but the vines, because you know how you have vines because what I'm trying to do is because I lost this ivy, I'm trying to come up with a fast way to get some coverage.
Well, you just replant your seeds every year.
You mean
gourd seed,
and just have gourds on it? But see, I'm wanting something that's kind of got the wisteria has the vines that are there all the time, so it gives, because I have this cattle panel. Was one of the last Dad gave me all this stack of cattle panel right before he died. And I was growing gourds in my garden on it. Well, then when I quit, growing a big garden, I took it and I just love interesting things. And so I've had this idea that I want to have like this tunnel of ivy or vines that you can walk through.
Uh-huh.
And right now it's just an eyesore because all my ivy died. And so I've got on one end some wisteria that's doing well. But I'm trying to figure out, and I've got some of the clematis I've gotten from you. I've got several of those on one end. But then I've got the middle of it, and it's just wire. And so I'm trying to come up with something that would look good and then kind of build up a base. If it's even old vines that are dead, I go out in the woods, and there's beautiful vines out there that if I could get those to grow on there, at least I'd have something other than just wire.
Right.
Does that make sense? I know I'm not,
Well, just if you're going to do gourds, and a lot of people do, you just would have to replant your seed every year.
Yeah.
Unless you can find a variety that is hardy to our zone. I don't know. I've never messed with gourds.
I've got gourds that I grew 20 years ago still. They're interesting. I've always found that's something to me. It's not really useful to us now other than just to look at because we don't use them for dippers and bowls and the things that they did and the reason why they grew them. But I just find them fascinating because they're just interesting to me. But anyway, I'm all over the place. Like I told you, I have so many questions, Amy. My goodness, especially dealing with Mother's Garden and seeing all those things and how to transfer them. We've actually got a clematis that was in the front yard, and they've taken down all the trellises and all those. And so it's just right there in the middle of the yard, just sitting there. So it needs to be dug up and moved.
Dig it up.
Yeah.
Just, again,
I know.
Fill your back end up with empty buckets.
Okay.
And now would be a good time to dig it up.
I can go ahead and get the
ground is
clematis.
wet and cool. Just make sure you come out around it and get a lot of root. I would not replant until fall.
Okay, so just keep it in a pot and water it.
In a big bucket.
And water it.
Of dirt. Well,
there's that watering thing.
There's that the W word.
I've had, bless you. I used to tease my husband. I said, Amy's not going to let me have any more plants if I don't keep them alive. She'd be like, you're not getting any more, LaVern. You can't come out and I'm not going to let you take them because you're not watering them. You're not keeping them alive. I forget. I get so busy, but I will do. I'm determined to do better this summer because I'm going to do some things for, of moms. But let me go ahead and do a break here. We're talking with Amy Corbin. She's from Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gifts and Gardening Center. Before I do this break, how long have y'all had this gardening center?
25 years.
Oh, I love it. That's awesome. So this is the 25th year?
Yeah.
So you kind of had a party this past weekend. You maybe need to have a bigger party, like a 25-year anniversary.
When we get all the steel back up, we'll have a party.
There you go. There you go. That sounds like a plan. But let's talk about Cumberland Connect, y'all. If you are a Cumberland Electric customer, and if you're like me, you've had terrible internet for years and years and years. You just had, whenever the flood happened last week, and our transformer got popped, and we were without power for about 14 hours, I guess. I couldn't get my husband to drag the generator out, so I didn't have internet or anything, and I felt like I was in the dark ages. Because I couldn't get a phone line to work. I have to use internet calling to get my cellular to work. And that's one of the reasons why you really, but people like me really need to keep a landline for that very reason. And Cumberland Connect can provide you with a landline if you need that. But it's so cool that it's all being facilitated now through our electric company. We know that this is a utility, that broadband connection, that high-speed internet, we need it because that is the way the world works now. And they've also got the Affordable Connectivity Program, providing qualifying households with up to $30 per month to help pay for broadband services. And guess what? Cumberland Connect has services that start at just $30 per month. So it is a great opportunity to get your family connected, possibly even with the cost being covered. If you want to find out about availability, all Cumberland Electric customers will eventually have an opportunity to get connected. You can go to cumberlandconnect.org, or you can give them a call, 800-987-2362, 1-800-987-2362, and just tell them your address, and they'll say, hey, they're probably already ready to knock on your door because I think they've got most of Robertson County covered. I know some up in Sumner County have told me that they have not been given the go-ahead yet, but great service, great customer service. Cannot say enough about how helpful they have been with what we've got going on. And man, we got a gig. It's awesome. My children told me I didn't need a gig. It's kind of like filling a bathtub with a fire hose, but I got a gig and it works great. And you can have one too for just $80 per month. I turned everything else off. I did. I've got my gig and I'm rocking. Cumberland Connect, cumberlandconnect.org. When you get in touch with them, always please let them know that you turned sent you. Miss Amy Corbin is in the house, and we've been talking about everything. How are the triplets? Aren't they driving now?
They are. They were 16 in March.
I remember you.
And they're all driving.
Yeah. Look out.
I know. But here's the thing.
Triplet boys. They're adorable.
They were, for their birthday, all they wanted was money. They're grown now. They're no fun anymore, And they were at the house. We were having birthday cake and stuff. And we gave them their money. And more, my brother said, now, that money is gas money. I was like, he's making them pay for their own gas. I was like, they're 16. Well, they run around all the time. If they have to pay for their own gas, this will cut down on that. And I'm like, but yes.
Amy wants to spoil them a little. Maybe.
They're finishing their sophomore year at Innovation Academy, and they're good boys.
Yeah.
I'm very thankful. And, they're driving now.
That's awesome. I remember that post I didn't realize it'd been almost, it's just in March. It was just recently.
Yeah, it was
just
in
this
March.
Yeah. Trying to keep the dates in my head. But I've always enjoyed the pictures of them out helping you in the garden and watching them grow up. And it's always neat to see them, and it just seems impossible that they're 16.
I know.
See, people say the same thing to me about my twins because they were born on the radio. They're going to be 33. They're going to be 33 next month, and so or next week. So that just blows my mind. And so because we've kind of watched the triplets grow up out there,
Yeah. Bronson and Cade, my brother Bill has two, and see. To me, she's still a little girl, Bronson, but she is, she graduated from Belmont Nursing School a year ago.
Yeah.
She's a trauma nurse.
Yeah, I've seen posts about her too.
And
the triplets get more attention though. Well, right. Yeah.
That's just, they're a little unique.
Yeah.
But they're all grown. Her brother, Cade, is in college, and they're all grown now. We don't have any little ones anymore.
I know. And then we'll see. And then once they start getting married and having kids, because that was I've got 4 grandkids now. I've got 4 grandkids, 3, up in Mountain Juliet, and then 1 in Jackson. And so
where is one with the little girl with the big bows? Her pictures that you posted. Where does she live?
She's in Mountain Juliet.
Okay.
I will bring her to see you. I'll bring her to see you. She will be 4 on Saturday.
Okay.
4 on Saturday. And that's a little bit of a caveat. I'm always at the Kilgore Station Bluegrass Festival. When they put it on the weekend that's right around her birthday, I'm like, oh, I may have to dart out at some point Saturday because they're taking her to see Frozen.
Oh.
You know, and so they're going to that, and then we've also got my 7-year-old grandson is in travel baseball.
Oh my gosh.
And so he's a good baseball player. And so I just have no idea what's going on with that. So because of his schedule, I don't know what we're doing Saturday, but at some point we may get together. We're having her party next weekend, you know, because, there's trying to schedule things with kiddos these days. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's all blessed and it's all wonderful, but my goodness, these children, they're just so busy. So busy all the time. So, but yeah, she will be 4 on Saturday, and she's a little pistol. I'm trying to come up with something unique for her birthday. So if anybody's got any suggestions for a 4-year-old girl, I don't know. You know, it's like I'm not good with girl stuff. You know, at all. All I know is boys.
It's boys.
You know, get them a fishing rod. You know, so that's what you do with boys. They're a lot easier. But anyway, Amy Corbin's here, and we're talking about all things Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gifts and Gardening Center. Now, I know I was talking with the master gardener about when to plant tomatoes and when to plant certain things. We're pretty much, once we pass Mother's Day, it's safe to pretty much put anything in the ground, isn't it? At this point, you think? Or as far as... But well, I mean,
who knows anymore? Who knows?
Well,
we've got tomatoes in the ground that have been through frost.
Yeah,
they grew out of it. Now they've been underwater for about 8 hours. Before when it dried up a little bit before this last rain, I was over there thinking, well, they're washed away. No, they were covered in mud and new growth already coming. So
that's funny.
Who knows? Who knows?
Who knows? Well, it is so funny because we've got, she put up something about the Master Gardener. They've got their plant sale Sunday, May 19th from 1 to 4 at Highland Rim for the Educational Center. So you can go out and get some plants from them if you want to do that. But also, too, you know, there are good ones. They have like all kinds of classes and things like that you can plug into, but to help with the UT Extension office and all that. Have you ever done any work with UT Extension office?
No.
You haven't? They need to plug in with you.
No.
Yeah, you don't want to? Okay.
They're plugged in with the University of Tennessee at Knoxville.
Okay.
They don't... they're big people.
Okay, I hear you. But we had talked with him about the safe, because I remember last year talking to you about when we could put, well, that used to be you could put your tomatoes in the ground after tax day. But then we've had several years of late frost.
Oh, yeah.
In the last few years, to where we've had frost all the way through the end of April. And so, you know, but pretty much Mother's Day, usually you're safe to get stuff planted and get stuff going. Well, just like the marigolds and stuff. That's the kind of stuff, though, you start in the greenhouse, right? Usually.
We do.
When do you plant those to start that? Because when I got those out of the freezer the other day, I thought, I don't even know when to plant them.
March for something like
that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And they'll come along.
Depends on what it is and how long it takes. Yeah.
Because it takes a little while. Because I've tried to put things in pots before, and it just seems like they never come up. So I'll go to Amy and get them already budding and flowering and beautiful, and then put them in my pots and then forget to water them.
Well,
that's kind of my routine.
It all comes down to soil temperature.
Yeah.
To get it to germinate. So.
Well, and does it make a difference, that's one thing too. I'll go and I'll see about different potting soils and things. What do you recommend people getting bagged potting soil, or do you think that it's something that you can I go down on a creek bank and dig up some dirt? When it comes to potting plants, do you really need to get potting soil, or what do you recommend?
We use to grow in a growing mix. Okay. And yes, it is a soilless mix mixed in Canada.
Okay.
And then for established root systems, you go to a potting mix that we sell. And it actually has fertilizer in it so that you don't have to feed additionally. There to seed into, we use a germination mix, which is a very, very fine. So that's what we do.
So y'all do have the potting mix for sale. Do you sell that starter stuff, or do you have just the potting mix that you sell?
Just the potting mix.
Okay. I don't think I knew that y'all had potting mix for sale. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, good deal. Well, I'm going to bring out, maybe as quick as next weekend. I can't this weekend because of Kilgore Station Festival, but I'm going to bring that pot out and we're going to get some petunias or something. I've got purple. I want some of those purple spillover petunias, and I'm going to see if I can keep them alive this year.
You can do it.
I know I can do it. We're talking with Amy Corbin about all the things. I'm asking. I had her in just so I could ask her all my questions, because when I go out there, I know you are so busy. Is there a good time for somebody? What is the best time if somebody like me just needs to pick your brain and ask some questions? Of course, buy some beautiful things while I'm out there. But when would be the time that would be better to come out and just chat with you? Because you've got just a plethora of knowledge.
Oh, I don't know about
you
that.
do?
I would say after 3:00.
After 3:00.
That's
during the week?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good time.
Is there ever a good time on the weekends, though, just to really sit and talk? Because, I mean, Saturdays, y'all got to be so busy, and Sundays. So
depends on the weather.
Yeah. I got you.
Again, after about 3:00, things settle.
Okay.
So
I could come over after school one day. Well, I may do that. I may, because I've got the pot. I brought it this weekend, and I think you'll see when you see it's unique. It's just beautiful. It will be so pretty with something in it.
You need to preserve things like that.
Yes.
For memories.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's like digging up, because once you get that replanted and established, every time you look at them, you'll think of your mom.
Yeah. We have
things like that need to be preserved.
Well, see, we have this, I'll have to show you a picture. Dad gave Mother this lily that's just beautiful. I mean, beautiful. One year for her birthday. You know how people make the real artistic cookies and the little painting cookies? I had somebody make her some cookies like this lily, and they turned out beautiful. And she on her fridge, there's still a picture of that lily because it's just gorgeous. But it was really probably the last thing Dad gave her. And I want to get a piece of it, but I'm scared to death I'll kill it.
It's a bulb.
It's just a bulb.
Lilies are bulbs. And again, wait until fall. Don't cut the foliage off in the summer, because if you do, then there's not going to be anything there this fall unless you go in and put flags or something. Mm-hmm. But if you leave the foliage and let it die back, then you'll know where. But again, lilies are bulbs.
Okay.
And just come around it and get that clump of bulbs.
Because I want to separate it, because it's one of those things I just don't want to take it all. I'd love to leave a piece of it. And with a lily, I should be able to get a part of it and leave some of it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll have to send you a picture of it. It's really unique. It's a really unique, beautiful lily. But all these things, I've got so much to do. I'd love to take you to Kentucky with me. It's like, okay, how do I do this and do this right? Because I don't want to mess it up. And I'm so thankful. I know Aaron Dita will take really good care of stuff and help us get things transferred and all those things. But it's just so neat. Oh, one other thing that I'll have to share with you, and then I'll have to do my last ad and let them come on in here. But the Buckeyes, one of the last things that my dad got was a Buckeye tree from one of the flea markets they went to. And so there was a Buckeye tree, because my granddaddy always kept Buckeyes in his pocket and swore that kept him from having arthritis, right?
Really? I've never heard that.
Yes, my pawpaw kept a Buckeye in his pocket and swore that kept out the arthritis. Now, my grandmother had arthritis terrible. That's where I get it from. But, those old wives' tales.
Yeah,
but pawpaw kept a Buckeye in his pocket. And we always wanted to have a Buckeye tree. And Daddy found one at the flea market and put one in their yard, and it's still just thriving. And those buckeyes will just seed and come on. And I've got several buckeye trees that are from my daddy's buckeye tree.
Really?
And that's a cool thing. So if you want some buckeyes, if you want to start some buckeye trees, I can hook you up, because it's a variety that just come up. Just wherever you forget to gather the buckeyes, a tree will come up.
A tree's going to come up.
They're coolest things. But let me do my last break and we'll say goodbye. I see the Kilgore folks are here. Kilgore Station Bluegrass Festival's here. I see Barry Richards popping his. Are you going to come on tomorrow morning at 7?
I'll be here tomorrow.
Bless your heart, Barry Richards. He's out here because it's Kilgore Station. We've been talking about it. Yeah. Your ad pretty much has been all about Kilgore, but I tell him to call you too. Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty. One of our longtime sponsors here, and of course, one of the founding sponsors of the Kilgore Station Bluegrass Festival this weekend, 17th and 18th at Kilgore Station Park. And let me do my ad. I've got to do the ad for Veterans Motorplex because they're going to be racing this weekend. And we want to remind you to get out there and go and see Jerry and the gang. They're going to be racing, weather permitting, of course, always racing through October. This is racing season here in Robertson County. This is at 6801 Kelly Willis Road in Greenbrier. We're talking a quarter-mile high-banked asphalt bull ring track. So much fun. If you've not been to the races, my goodness, y'all, you don't know what you're missing. It is a good time, and it's a family-friendly environment. They have this great concession stand, no alcohol served. That's unusual. Well, you can take your whole family out and just have a big time. $40 ticket will get up to 6 kids and 2 adults in for $40, and you will have a blast. I promise you. You will have so much fun. Sometimes they'll have teenagers out there racing. They'll have fun events for kiddos. It's a good time. It's the Old Highland Rim Speedway. If you want to follow them and make sure of what's going on with the schedule, if they have a rain delay or have to cancel anything, that's where they put it. They have the Old Highland Rim Speedway Facebook page that you can follow them. But you'll see you're at the right place. Veterans Motorplex, our friends. And you can call them at 615-430-3135, 615-430-3135. Always let them know you turned sent you. Ms. A.B. Corbin's in the house for a moment longer. Tell them again your hours, where you're located, all the particulars of how they can find you.
It's 4920 Highway 161, and we're open Monday through Saturday, 9 until 6. But if you need to come at 7, that's fine too. And then Sunday, 1 until 6.
There's been many times I've called Amy and I'm like, I'm on my way. I'll be right there. And she'd wait for me.
Of course.
And because that's just what they do. And we love you and we appreciate you. And I will be out to see you.
Thank you.
Very, very soon with that pot. And we're going to do something beautiful.
We'll fix it.
Thank you.
Yes.
I appreciate you. Love you, sister. And love you guys. Thank y'all for joining us here for One Street Over. Stand by because Lee Marie's coming up with the Go Show. And I saw Barry Richards out there going to be talking Kilgore Station Bluegrass Festival. I know that Cheryl's coming in. I think Cheryl Chun and Larry, are they coming in? They're all, we're going to have a bluegrass big time. So you just hang on because we're going to reset and we'll be right back with the Go Show coming up right after this, guys. God bless. Hang on. And this is 1100 WSGI.